Well, good afternoon, everybody. The bird life is with us today. Let's take a moment just to listen. Birdsong at the moment speaks to me, and my ears are open to really hear and to get to know the birds around, the sounds of wildlife. I got the merlin up recently, and there's something about the listening out and getting to know birds. And most of the time I can't see them, so the relationship is auditory from my listener's perspective. There's rooks and crows, jackdaws here. This is in the glorious rural Idyll in Aberdeenshire, North East Scotland. And as I look to my side here, I can see the church tower. I hope you can hear me over these guys because they've got a lot to say. The jackdaws nest in this tower here. The rooks are nesting in the trees at the front of the house, and they're quite often around. And they're busy. They've got a lot to say. And amongst that, I can also hear there's lots of blue tits and grey tits here, cold tits, robins, blackbirds, wrens. My favourite bird that I've got to know the voice of recently is the mighty wren, small in stature, big-hearted in voice. I've spent the morning here very slowly and gently, relinquishing any drive to do out with of what I'm available to do. I can feel the slight buzz in my fingers, nettles this morning, and cleavers, and I've made a dal with them, and green lentils, and it's in the slow cooker just now. And there's something about harvesting these wild plants. It's not coming along with a big pair of gauntlets and a hook. It's picking off the tips, because if I pick off the tips, they'll grow back, and they've done that because this is not the first harvesting they've done with nettles. And where you pick the tips off, they shoot out sideways and grow again. So I used just a small marigold actually to pick with one hand, because if I pick a lot with my fingertips, my fingers are buzzing the nettle venom, because I'm very careful. I'm not grasping, just pinching. So there's a little bit here because I use one glove in one hand, and then I just pick the stalk off, and I collected a small ball. So I'm not on the clock today. And after spending quite a bit of time trying to find, I'm not particularly techily minded, naturally, trying to find a simple video recorder I can just push record, and it gives me a recording. Oh my goodness me. Anyway, this is where I am today, and if you found your way here, I hope there's something in it for you. And I imagine that if you have found your way here, that's exactly how it is. Otherwise, you're listening to a weedy beardy baldy chatting away, and the birds. It's the blue tits. And I'm delighted this morning in watching young fledgling great tits, which look a little bit like cold tits, but when you see the fluffiness and you can see the markings, I've got to know them recently, and fledgling robins who I'm familiar with. Some of my most memorable moments this month have been watching fledglings, parents feeding them. I saw a tree creeper last week out walking the dog, and I just stood in awe for a moment. And then it caught something on the tree, and its youngster flew over to it and it fed it. And everything stopped for me. I just stood there still. My dog is at the side of me, and she's just standing there, and I'm watching. And again, I'm off the clock, watching this tree creeper feed a wee grub to its fledgling baby. Oh, the magic. For me, this year, spring has got into my very being, and I've spent much time watching it emerge, walking, slowing down. The theme is coming off the clock. And this is kind of what inspired me today to troll through the nonsense of video recorders until I just find one that I can press play, record. It's going to give me 25 minutes, so that's how long this recording is going to be at max. And my inspiration today is to share something of where I find myself in there. Some of the foundation from that is... Let me look at my arm for inspiration. Before agreements, here they are. Let me just see, they're kind of written here, and that's not Biro, by the way. I read this story over 20 years ago, and I was inspired to make it part of me. So physically I have, and it reminds me some simple guidelines, actually, and it is be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. And the core of that teaching, when I read it, and it still sits with me now, is about the domestication that most humans, and I mean most of them, modern times go through. And realizing that is so, and going through the grief of having lived however many years prior to that realization, being domesticated by my surroundings, how I grew up culturally, family, schooling, just general culture, and then continuing that domestication of myself. If you've ever read the Four Agreements, you'll know, maybe if it touched you in the same way, it definitely did with me. And it's landed with me recently where the grief lies, and resentment and anger, is that was something I didn't consent to in that real formative time when I was like a wee lad, very young, jeepers, so very young, that came into that. And the resentment isn't for parents or schooling or for any of that. It comes from that the unimprinted, deepest part of me that's been kind of imprisoned by that unconsented domestication. Because my soul and that deep part of me, however, I don't know what I can't give an English description for it, but maybe you get my meaning. It did not consent to being domesticated. Like the wildest of wildest creatures, elephants, whales, orcas, the hare. I'm reading a book called Raising Hare recently on Talking Book. I really recommend it. And Love is a Toad by Lucy Lapwing. They're my two high recommendations for books recently. Because Lucy, when she read her book, slight digression, I'll get back to my point in a second, of her upbringing and her love of nature. And it's again related to the grief that she felt and others that she spent time with felt around the human effects on nature. And then as an individual living in that and feeling the grief of floss. I've got a beetle, I think, crawling on me. It's the second one to visit me today. Oh, he's gone. So coming back to that unconsented domestication. There he is. Now look. And there he's gone. My little beetle visitor's come. He's landed on the door now. Nature wonder and awe. And I realise, coming back to that domestication without consent, that I've carried, having read this book 20 plus years ago, and it landing with me and feeling sheepish, having a level of realisation that that's exactly what's happened, and it's widespread. And I have a 12-year-old son. He's literally just turned 12, so he's on the cusp of coming into adolescence and approaching that transition of boyhood to manhood, and looking into honouring a rites of passage for him. And what I realise now, and it's a somatic realisation, it's starting to drop into my deeper self, coming through a conceptual 20 years ago thing of reading the book, and it landing with me going, gee whiz. And I'm now 51 years old. I was 20 years old. I was like late 30s when I read that. Something like that. I don't know again exactly when it was. But realising up until that point, that was, say, 30 years of domestication. Most of that self-domestication. Because once you're domesticated by your surroundings, you then continue to domesticate yourself. Just like animals and dogs are pets. This is what you do. This is what you don't do. That's not okay. That is okay. This is what you need to do to receive love and acceptance. And some level of conceptual realization back then, that's bullshit. That's a lie. So now, fast forward 20 years to 51 years in this wee body. And it landing in, I said, what's the effects of that is, there's an underlying resentment coming out from that deeper part of me that I was domesticated, and continue to live through the limitations of being domesticated and self-domesticating. And it reinforces itself every day. It's like an internalized program of this is what you do, this is what you don't do, this is what you can do to do that, and yada 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 yada. And seeing it mirrored in the relationship with my partner, and it finally landing in one of our inquiries. We do regular inquiries in our relationship journey. There's been some of the deeply, yeah, that's a good word, deeply challenging, because it challenges that domesticated self. Really, really brings it out. So it's like coming like this, and that inner place is mirroring to me. Such a deep mirror. She's holding it, and it seems I'm holding the same, and it brings up all of that, all of these trigger points to the sorest ones. Actually, all of them, and ones I didn't even know I had. And they're very much rooted in being domesticated. All of these and survival patterns that came from that life journey, and they're intertwined, all without consent of the deepest self. And there are glimpses when that it comes to one side, quite often through nature wonder, like the tree creeper feeding its baby. And I can hear the wee birds behind me, blue tits and their babies, grey tits and their babies. Buzzard. There she goes again. Moments like that, when that programming drops into the background and the present moment comes forth. I'm in it. Nowhere else. So I am coming back to this point of realizing that there's like a deeper level of realization that it's such a beautiful voice, Vicky. And there's a gentle breeze. Feeling a warmth today, actually. It's been a cool June here in Scotland, in this area. I've been layered up. I had a woolly hat on yesterday morning, can you believe it? In June. In fact, this weekend is Midsummer. Summer solstice is on Sunday. It is a warmth today, even with the breeze. So, what I'm feeling in that deeper sense is realizing that I've carried resentment, and it's mirrored in my partnership with my partners. That what's coming up is that programming and around relationship. This is what you like from both sides. This is what I expect you to do for me. This isn't you need to meet this and do that and do this. And I'm realizing that part of me that is like resents and actually steps away from, which creates distance. And I'm actually shutting myself off because I feel such a deep resentment that there's the underlying thing. It's not her. It's that programming around relationship requirements. This is what you should do. And it's struck in recent inquiries in recent days. There's been that coming in has created a bit of space for me, observing that and having a deeper understanding of why that resentment is there. Before I didn't. I couldn't see, and in there, in this resentment, and holding myself away, and it's like the smoky mirror that stops me seeing actually her as the beautiful human being she is. An awakening from that, and I can put that to my choice of where I am today and what I do. This is like the program responses. You need to be absolutely working. And the inner self is just like the deeper self, which is the knowing part. It's like, nah, you don't know. It knows where the balance is, and the balance today is in slowness, in nature connection, this deeper presence, which allows that. And I was thinking when I was making that dal this morning, if I'd allowed myself to go into the mode of this is what you should be doing, your day needs to be ding, 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 then you've got this need, and you need to do that and this and that and that. Not today. And that creates space. So it's such a deeper presence. So I'm just noticing it's like that inner knowing is the sovereign. And all the voices of the programming muffle the sovereign's voice. So the sovereignty is covered. In these moments it's uncovered and it comes forward. The sovereign self, the king. And realizing how much energy it takes to maintain the domesticated programming, and also the deeper inner self rallies against that quite a lot of the time. I imagine this is probably one of the deeper causes why humanity, if you look across humanity, modern humanity, why there's so much simmering anger. Because deep inside, whatever's going on and whatever that programming is leading that individual and the collective to do, it's without the consent of the deeper self. It's like a computer fucking virus that comes in I find these kind of analogies or parallels helpful in deeper realization. It is like a virus that comes in, that domesticated programming. And if you listen to the Four Agreements, if I've got this right, he calls it Medote. It's that smoky mirror, the domesticated programming that comes in and tells you you're something other than what you are. And to feel fulfilled, you need to follow the list. And then, yeah, underneath that, when the Medote clears and the fog goes, you already have all that you need to know. You've carried it with you from before the moment you were born. It's been there the whole time. It was encoded in you at your conception and before. And when I came into being in this form, when our spirit came in with enmeshed with the flesh in that moment of conception, and when that spark that is you came in, it comes from the communal fire, sparks of humanity, and it pops out and takes form like this. It has everything. Like the seed. And we've seen them all sprout now, and they're flourishing at their zeniths, flowering. They didn't need domestication to tell them how to live. It was within them. And we are no different. We are just exactly the same. And it seems part of the journey is in the remembering. And like emptying oneself out, it creates space for the remembering to happen. Like me at the moment, in that process of letting go of that domesticated self of, this is what relationship, this is what I had modeled to me. And when I hadn't fulfilled various other things within that dynamic, it's like that domesticated self then judges. The judge comes in and all of this stuff. And stepping for a moment outside of that to be able to see it and hold it in front of me without wishing to cast it away, destroy it. In a way, it's been a great teacher. Having to go there to come back. Like all the great journeys. It is the journey, not the destination. You carry the destination you carry you the whole time. And there's something about the walk. Anybody who's walked a long walk, or maybe series of them, and taken these journeys. It's through the walking and the journeying. And maybe something breaks free. You break down and break through. So I'm sharing that today. Here in this place with the beetle. It's just landed on the wall over there. And I can smell the scent of summer. I can smell there's that microelement around, the humidity and the heady scent of flowers. And there are so many of them. Cherry trees behind me here, growing their cherries now. They've already flowered, the blossom's passed. But there are others that are now into blossom, like the bloom. There's a broom just over here in yellow flower, and it flowers for a long time. And if you go and stick your nose into those petals, you can smell it. So I've just noticed I've got 12 seconds left before this recording is complete. So that means that I'm done. So thank you for listening today.